good morning, and good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte. My name is Jerry, and I have the honor of being your host today. If this is your first time, we are delighted that you've chosen to join us today. With modern technology, we are extremely grateful that this opportunity to touch so many lives, especially through Zoom and Facebook. Please feel free to visit our website, cslcharlotte.org, or put in a prayer request and subscribe. We add our recordings to our website each week. The Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte is a new thought community living an ancient wisdom philosophy based on the science of mind. This science of mind philosophy was developed in the early 20th century by writer and lecturer Ernest Holmes. Dr. Holmes was a man on a mission. He studied truths from all of the world's religious traditions and spiritual paths. Holmes developed a fresh new way for us to look at ourselves and how we fit in our world. At CSL Charlotte, every philosophy is honored along with every race, sexual orientation, and physical distinctions. This is a diverse, open, and affirming community. There are many paths to the divine. We can call it God, peace, love, or spirit. It doesn't matter what you call it. That is totally your decision. You don't have to leave your philosophy or nature of knowledge. You can join us anytime. We recognize and refer to many holy scriptures, such as the Bible, the Quran, and Torah, just to name a few. Our vision statement is to continue a spiritual community, creating and preparing a succession of future leaders who can fully integrate, teach, and expose the science of mind principles, messages, and practices that strengthen the mind, body, and spirit of this community. We teach everyone the tools to do just that. So come and join us as we meet each Tuesday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. So welcome everyone and enjoy our service as we celebrate this powerful being which lives within each and every one of us. So now I'll pass the mic to our illustrious spiritual leader, Reverend Rosedale.
Well, what a powerful and sweet way to start us off in the day with the voice of Groovy G, aka Jerry Campbell, all the way out there in New Mexico. So I'm sending out a happy thought to all the people on YouTube and everybody everywhere that's ever listened to the sound of our voices. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte. It's the Mind, Body, Spirit Center. And so this month we happen to be acknowledging Latino Heritage Month. It celebrated from September 15th to October 15th yearly, and it started out a week long back in the 60s, 1968, and then it expanded to the entire month 20 years later, which was 1988. So we open up our Sunday celebration with an affirmative prayer to set the tone. So we're about to talk about the power of forgiveness today. And with that said, we got the first person on our platform who is our awesome and emeritus spiritual practitioner, Maureen Thurston, aka Mo. Now, I'm sure Mo is well versed in the power of forgiveness. So if you want to know how to authentically receive or express forgiveness, then I would suggest you put in a prayer request right now, right this minute that you're listening on our website, cslcharlotte.org. Now, Mo is always waiting for your prayer requests to come through our website. And I know some of them came through YouTube because I recall seeing names that were not very familiar, but that's still good. Send them in. Okay. And that being said, all you have to do is choose to submit a prayer request. And once you do, you get that email to your box. That said, like I always say, if you have not received a prayer request from us, you have not put in a prayer request. So welcome Mo as she brings her beautiful voice into here to make sure that we get open up well and stay in tune with affirmative prayer. Mo, please let us have it.
Thank you, Reverend Rosedale, and good morning, everyone. So let's just take a moment to turn within and to connect to that divine place that is in each and every one of us. That still small space where we can listen with our hearts and with our minds. So I know that as each and every one of us are brought here together today for this amazing service that Reverend Rosedale is going to put together for us, I know that everything within our lives on this beautiful day flows smoothly and easily. We are all upheld within the love of not only spirit, but all of those around us. And as we go forward into this service, I know that our hearts and our minds are open to hear what is ours to hear from her message, that we get filled to the brim with love, with peace, with understanding, and with acceptance for who we are and what we are capable of doing. So I know that this service runs smoothly and easily. I know that each and every one of us are touched to the heart. And so as I release and I let go and I let God, I know that it is done. It is already manifesting within each and every one of our lives. And together we can lock this in by simply saying, and so it is.
Wow, that was beautiful, Mo. Thank you so much. And so it is. So, next on our platform is our reader, Melissa Spiegler, all the way out there in Encinitas, California. And Melissa is a woman that's dedicated to service. She is one of those people who I'm quite sure invokes her powers to the power of forgiveness, and she does it probably as needed. But I'm also sure that we'll love the opportunity to hear her reading since she loves the service of reading. So if you're open to her reading, you're in for a treat. And that is certainly for sure. Now, after Melissa's reading, listen to the song Intuition by Sophia Rayne. Now, Sophia Rayne. Now, the power of forgiveness plays a big role in our intuition. So listen to that as intuition within you comes alive through the power of forgiveness. And with that being said, Melissa, make it do what it do.
Thank you so much, Reverend Rosedale. Yes, I am so in tune with this. I love the thought of your message this morning. And this morning's reading is Mastering Life, the Power of Forgiveness and Response by Reverend Rosedale Jones. In the journey of life, no one is spared from facing adversity. Each of us encounters discomfort, misfortune, and struggle, the universal threads and tapestry of human experience. Yet, the essence of our existence isn't defined by the challenges themselves, but by our responses to them. It's not merely the events that shape us, but how we choose to respond to them. It's not the obstacles that define our path, but our skill in navigating around them. It's not just the wave that confronts us, but our ability to harness its energy and ride it towards something greater. At the heart of our trials is a profound lesson about forgiveness and the release of grudges. Holding on to the past at the expense of our destiny is self-inflicted wounds. To harbor resentment is like consuming poison and waiting for another to suffer. It only depletes us. Forgiveness does not mean condoning the wrongs done to us. Rather, it means accepting that they occurred and deciding what to do next. It is an acceptance of our irreversibility of the past and the commitment of moving forward. Forgiveness is relinquishing the futile hope that the past could have been different. It is an act of liberation that propels us to a higher state of being that where grudges have no hold on our hearts. This liberation does not just benefit us individually, it elevates our entire being, allowing us to live without heavy chains of bitterness and resentment. Ultimately, the choice of forgiveness is also a choice about our own happiness and peace of mind. It begs the question, would you rather be right or would you rather be happy? The path of forgiveness is not just an emotional decision, but also can be supported by spiritual practices. Should you engage in them? Should you choose to engage in them? Embracing forgiveness, we affirm our own self-worth and assert that our emotions are ours to command. This empowerment is the true victory over the adversities we face. For in mastering our responses, we master ourselves. And here's a quote: by forgiving, we affirm our self-worth and assert that no one else has the power to dictate how we feel. By Reverend Rosedale Jones. And so it is.
Take a deep breath in that. We are one. So we'll start with a 2-minute centering, and you can relax your eyes by either looking into your lap or closing them if you choose. Now breathe in really deeply and really long, and then slowly exhale. See, the power of forgiveness, according to Sophia's song, is about intuition. And intuition song, that one she sings, really stick with me. She reminded me that my intuition is my angel in disguise, as it reminds me that I am protected for life. See, I may be one day and I may be another day something else. But how I work with angel practice is just fabulous for me. And one day I will talk about that, because when she said my angel in disguise, it really saying something to me. So anyway, here's the deal. Intuition saved my life, and I hope you can say that same thing for yourself. But I listen to it 99% of the time, and I feel it's time for me to forgive when it's time. I really know that that is exactly what my intuition is helping me to do. That's how it saves my life. You know, I believe that from Sophia's intuition song, that your tuition knows when it's time for you to forgive too. So I'm sure that you heard her sing, every time you inhale, you release. But when you breathe in, you find peace. So that in and of itself is showing you release that person, exhale them out. So start with self-forgiveness first. Then you can deal with other people later and other things you need to forgive, because that's how it's authentically done. It's your choice. And that's all it is a choice. Whether you choose to incorporate spiritual practices to sharpen your intuition or not. So wiggle your fingers and your toes and integrate your mind, body, and spirit. And as you float your eyes open again, look around your space as if you're new to it and you have never been there before. So let's take a gratitude moment while you're looking around your space as I say to Groovy, thank you for being our MC today. You're such a natural at it. You know what I mean by that. And thank you, Mo, for your incredible opening prayer, because you definitely set the tone for each and every one of us here today. And thank you, Melissa, for reading The Power of Forgiveness and Response. You see, that definitely points the way to how we respond to the power of forgiveness. So let's think about the power of forgiveness here. Do you ever reflect on whether you're holding on to any heavy burdens of life or unforgiveness. See, when we practice that forgiveness, or if we practice unforgiveness, we'll know about it. And I'll tell you why in a couple of minutes, because what research says about it. See, because what it is it's just a bunch of chains of resentment, chains of judgment, all these things holding you down. And it's like the inner pain, all of this. That's what unforgiveness is all about. It's about diabetes, cancer, and so many other things. Research says that illness comes from our unforgiveness. Besides that fact, unforgiveness weighs down your mind, body, spirit center connection too. So let's not pretend that we've never experienced those feelings, because I know people say, oh no, I'm spiritual, I forgive real quick. Well, you know what? It doesn't matter. We don't have to hide anymore. We could just be honest with ourselves so we can let it go, because practicing forgiveness keeps the stress down or away. So we don't have to worry about that. And to be honest, we all carry some type of grievance from the past. The mind is nothing but a camera. Click, click, remember. So why not reflect and check every now and then to see if there's any heavy burdens left under there? Because, oh my goodness, if you're stuck somewhere, and you don't want to be stuck within yourself, because that's where your power lies. So why not just do that? Now, this is the thing. What many people do not realize is that forgiveness holds the key to unlocking healing. So when I keep hearing all these people say, oh, I have diabetes. Oh, I have high blood pressure. Oh, I have this. You know, it's forgiveness is like a renewal for a whole new level of our being. Depression is definitely something we need to be looking at. See, the power of forgiveness begins with self-forgiveness, self-awareness, but self-forgiveness. Because what happens is when we're still holding that and we bury it and we think it's buried, no, all we did was put it somewhere like in the liver, or maybe put it in the pancreas, or maybe left it in the kidneys. But we left it somewhere without it. And it's just been there all the time, just festering. So what we want to do is we need to forgive, because when we refuse to forgive, we remain stuck. Like I said, once you're stuck, all that stuff is stuck. The pain's there. And that's what limits our ability to move forward and to heal our body. See, isn't it time, or do you think it's time to let that load go? I would say so. What about you? See, releasing judgment and resentment isn't just reacting or just something you're giving someone else. It's releasing yourself. It's not emotionally it's not only emotionally liberating. It heals you physically, mentally. That's why the mind, body, and spirit really needs us to stay in tone to it. And that's how we reduce the load off of that mind, body, spirit connection. Forgiveness is a transformative power. And what it does is it frees us. I have to say it over and over so you can get that point. It frees us from these conditions like lack, like self-condemnation, like even illness. It's really big. And there's too many diseases out there that people are dying from. And it all happens to do with the way they look at life and the way they look at themselves. I was reading a study the other day that said 90% of the population is feeling bad about some of the things they've done that could be wrong. You know how you'd say, oh, I probably didn't do this right. That's why so-and-so's upset. Or maybe I could have done this. When I catch me saying that, I know it's time. That's just another thing that's prompting me. Those are the angels in disguise for me to let me know, hey, whoa, that's my intuition telling me, hey, let that go. See, because here's the thing. It's true that external success is important. Yes, it is. But true happiness, not that outside success, right? But true happiness and spiritual practices really keep it going well. Because when you play around with the spiritual practices, that essential role of being happy, that peace, that love within you is automatic. It just works like that. Another thing is this: adversity is a part of life, and nobody is immune to it anywhere. And see, that's what sets thriving people apart from people that are not thriving: their response to life's challenges. Like what Melissa read in the reading I wrote called The Power of Forgiveness and Response. In embracing forgiveness, she read, we affirm our self-worth and assert that our emotions are ours to command. Did you hear that? Let me say that again. When embracing forgiveness, we affirm our self-worth and assert that our emotions are ours to command. That's powerful. And this empowerment is the true victory over the adversities that we face. For example, for mastering our responses, we master ourselves. So listen to this. Okay, I'm gonna read the last sentence. This empowerment is true and it's victory over the adversities we face, because in mastering our responses, we master ourselves. You got that? And see, that's what thriving people do. That's what sets thriving people apart from people who have not found the idea or the time to learn to forgive. It's never occurred, the idea that I should do some forgiving. It's never occurred to them that, well, maybe if I don't know how, maybe I need to learn how. It's never occurred to them that, well, maybe I need to join some of those classes that people are talking about to maybe change the way I look at things and the things I look at change. It's not the issue that we're looking at that shapes us. It's how we respond. It's our response to it. That's the power in forgiveness, or the power of forgiveness and response. That's what the reading is all about. Clinging to unforgiveness blocks your growth and well-being. Okay, some recent studies, they actually have some interesting ideas in connection with holding grudges and developing serious illnesses. Cancer, diabetes, heart disease, and dementia, according to this study, has been shown to be the problem. Now, not only does unforgiveness take a toll on us, but our emotional well-being as well. It also deeply affects physical health. I just keep doing this over and over and over because that's a work in progress. Spiritual practice is powerful, but every single day there's somebody that comes to your mind, or some incident that's come to your mind that you have not forgotten or forgiven. I'm telling you, just listen to that. It's so true. So here's a notable study that highlights all the harmful effects of holding these grudges and unforgiveness in health and fitness. This is what they found. In 2005, Dr. Everett Worthington, he wrote this study called Forgiveness, Unforgiveness, Health, and Disease. What's interesting about this study is that he proved that stress and hostility created holding wrongs, and it created illnesses in the body. He showed it with his participants that participated in his study. And remember this though, it's not your circumstances, once again, that define you, but your response to them. And I got that idea from reading his story. Since success isn't necessarily determined by challenges that we have, they're not. It's not, you don't lose because you had a challenge. You lose because you didn't work that challenge. You didn't move beyond that challenge. You didn't find out how you was feeling that day before you started working on that challenge. Depression comes when you're not forgiving. When you're not forgiving, you don't even think that this is my problem. You see? Thriving people, once again, they change their tragedy, they change it into success instead of being crushed by all the mishaps that they've run through in life. And then the power of forgiveness basically lies in the transformation of our lives. That's where it really lies. When you can forgive, you can transform to a peaceful you. But if you can't forgive, you can transform to a not so peaceful you. So by choosing to forgive ourselves first, we release the emotional pain and the built up stuff around that's blocking, that's not allowing the mind, body, and spirit connection to be in place to do what it does. So it creates space for inner peace. It creates space for love for ourselves. It creates time for us to say, hey, I'm ready to take the time to be a part of who I need to be. How could you study stuff if you're weighed down with so many things? It's really, really hard. I'm glad Ruby said that because she said, thank you, I needed this today. I'm glad she said that because I thought about me and her in some point this week about this forgiveness thing. It's just been fabulous just to think about how I remember how there's certain things I didn't forgive. I'm not giving somebody a get out of jail free card because I forgive myself, because once I forgive myself, I can forgive them. In most cases. Sometimes I can't. Sometimes I got to work a little harder. Okay, let's put it that way. Because I can't say I can't. Because what happens is I end up doing it anyway eventually. But it's just an act. It's not giving him or her a get out of jail free card. It's not doing that. What it's doing is it's self-liberating me, and it's freeing me. And then doors now, I can sit down, I can study, I can sit down and write things about my talk. I can sit down and really be moved to do different things because I got greater harmony inside of myself. More wellness is inside of me. And I get up every single morning these days and I constantly say, boy, grateful for this body. I go outside, I look at my trees, and I'm constantly in there talking to them. Out there talking to them. I go out there every morning at 4 or 5:30 and I'm talking to the trees. But it brings so much to me because then I can feel my inner body. So anyway, again, what the part of Melissa's reading that I wrote, The Power of Forgiveness and Response, was forgiveness is relinquishing the futile hope that the past could have been different. Let it go. You can't let go of the past. You can't go back and kiss anybody in the past. You can't go shake hands with anybody in the past. It's not going to be any different. It's the act of liberation. That's what the power of forgiveness is. It propels us to higher, greater state of being. Just like Sophia said, she goes back into her higher self. And then also, what it also does, you know what? Them grudges, they don't hold us. They can't hold us anymore. Liberation does not benefit us individually. It does not benefit us individually. It elevates our entire being, mind, body, spirit, so we can allow ourselves to live without those hearts of bitterness. Now you can live around people because you're not bitter with everybody. That's the problem. It's very sad to know that you did not let go of certain things, so now there's so much that you have that's bitter. So sometimes it takes me a while to forgive, just being plain and simple. But when I finally do forgive, I feel so much more alive. I'm serious. That freeing thing. See, when I'm in anger and resentment, it's just a total downer. It really is. It's just not going to work out. And the good news is, before I start losing my clarity or my power, because I need my clarity, because I need to know where I'm going every day. And I also need my power because I got to know where my strength comes from, and I got to be able to speak right through anything that's bothering me, or feel through anything that's bothering me. So what I do is I rein myself back in. Then I get back on track. Because for me, it is so amazing to experience the power of forgiveness. Now, my daily practices of meditation, and you could choose whatever you like. It was meditation so many years. So it was nice. It was so good. But you know what I found out? That I have evolved into creating rituals, which are my spiritual practices now. They're deeper and they serve me to the core of my being, but not only for healing, but for my transformation, my peaceful transformations, not the transformations. You're going to change one way or another, but you want the peaceful one. So recently I was feeling some kind of anger towards this person in my gym. And he's a manager over the aquatics division, But that's not the point, who he is or who I am. But since last year, I was going there and I've been teaching classes, and I would always say hello to him. And he never responded. So one day I just said, well, quit, don't say nothing. So my response was being annoyed instead of quit, don't say nothing, right? So I saw him, and I would mentally, every time I passed him walking or anything, I would mentally wince, so to speak. And so, do you know that it was amazing? Do you wait? First of all, let me ask you this: do you ever experience that about people? No, you're going to say no. You don't have to say it loud. Just think about it. Now, when you do that, know that you might be afraid to admit it right now, but it's something that's very powerful that you are going to release after you hear this. So one day I said to myself, you know what, I need to do my practice. And I did a practice. This was like months ago. Now, this is why I'm saying months ago that I made this practice. What I realized that one day I was walking 2 days ago, 3 days ago, and this was months ago that I did the practice. So don't think it's a one and done, and don't think it's going to happen overnight. It's not microwave. So anyway, one day I did the little practice, and I wind up saying to myself, this is what it is. Then I totally forgot all about him. I forgot about the incident and everything. So what I usually do is I let my setbacks tell me that something's up. So when I realized that, what is it that you're not liking today? And that's when I did that practice. I said, oh, really? That's the first thing that came to your mind? So forgive it. Forgive yourself for being angry with this person. It wasn't forgive him for not speaking to you, because I could care less whether you speak to me or not. I need to stop being mad at you. So it involves my commitment to self-growth, to my personal growth. So I decided to forgive myself for that. So anyway, long story short, the other day, Tuesday, after months went by, I saw him in the hall, and he stopped and blocked me, and I went around him. Then I went back, and we were doing this for a few minutes. Do you know what happened? All we could do was stop and laugh, because I knew what he was doing to get my attention, because he was saying, whatever your face looks like, or whatever. I don't know what he was thinking. But every day since that day, I laugh. And remember that thing that we always say about I smile, even though I'm hurt, see, I smile. Well, every day now, when I'm trying to do my studies and I'm trying to get through the day about something, because I tell you all the time, smiling is therapeutic, but it really is. That's the power of forgiveness. Because now, after that person and you've gotten over that thing with that person, now you start to feel alive, like this next song is going to talk about I'm alive. But now you're going to start to feel a whole difference now, instead of like every time you see that, no, you don't have to do that. So with that being said, guys, take a listen to this next song. But when you hear this next song, you'll hear you. I guarantee you'll hear the word you. Figure out who it's talking to. It's talking to you. And every time you hear the word you, remember you, and listen to the song I'm Alive by Celine Dion. alive. You know, when she said, when I hear you breathe, she's talking to me about being in meditation. When I hear you breathe, that's me breathing. See, the power of forgiveness in spiritual practice is so good, and it really, literally makes me feel I'm alive. How about you? So when you feel that you're not ready to forgive, why don't you just think about coming out of that dark, heavy heart? And I challenge you to affirm, I'm alive. Forgiveness is a choice. Okay, so we are doing great. Hey, I like to say we're cooking with gas on a new stove. Right, Alan? So, this is the time for the birthdays. So, you know that I don't know your birthday, right? Yes, Groovy. So, just jot down your month, your month and day. This is one of them days for us, y'all, but we're having a good time anyway. So put it in the chat if you're even on YouTube, and make sure you just say my 11/21, and that's me. 11/21, that's mine. I love my date, so you should love yours because that's the day I came to be. Wouldn't you like to remind us the day you came to be? But better yet, wouldn't you like to remind yourself of the glory that you are because of the day you came to be? I'm not going to say anything more about being proud of being here. I have people that I heard say, I said, what's the matter? Well, she said today was her birthday, this one lady. So that's nice. You should be happy that it's your birthday. I know, but I'm getting older. I couldn't get that. You getting older, you're alive. Oh my God. Mo says all the time, I just got up and put my feet on the floor. Hey, that's a good thing. So anyway, that's the day you came to be. But anyway, right now I'm gonna stop with the birthday thing. I know you know on some level what I'm saying and what I'm talking about, and you know you have to celebrate that. But I want to talk about some big gratitude shout outs to our platform team here right now. So this morning, the first person on the platform was our MC, Groovy G. Her real name is Jerry Campbell, but I'm okay with that. And I also call her our spiritual harmony steward to keep things pretty cool. But not only does she do that behind scenes here, she does that when to each and every one of us at times. She's one of those people that'll say, "Oh, I felt that. I understand." She's very what's that word? She's compassionate. Exactly. So that's why I call her the spiritual harmony steward and the cleanup woman. Well, that's for keeping this place clean. And opening and closing prayer was our incredible emeritus practitioner, Mo. And me trying to say emeritus spiritual practitioner. All these words are coming into my head to try to say it. But anyway, Mo, thank you so much. And the reader, Melissa, awesome Melissa, you really sounded very factual when you did your reading today. So the greeting, the spotlight, and all the awesome things that you do, I thank you for that too. And the music and announcements goes over to our right-hand man, as Alan. And then we got the pilot out there. He's chilling for a month or two, 2 months actually. And then he'll be watching us every now and then, or he'll have his heart on us all every now and then, but it's all good. So it's very nice to know that. But there's another person who I didn't mention, and that's Horace the Bush. He's the one that gets all this to go and to happen, and all of the goodness that makes this thing run like a well-oiled machine. So I'm digging all of these people. So I have to give them all a big shout out. And thanks again to you, Mo, for always waiting to send out those prayers, because you know what I always say. If you have not received a prayer from us, you have not submitted a prayer request, and Mo is chomping at the bits, waiting for you to send them in. So send them in so she can give them right back to you. Nicely, well crafted. So before we close out, remember today was all about the power of forgiveness. So before Mo prays us out, let's take as much time as we need to heal more and forgive more. This way, this is how you do it through this next song. This way, you'll stay healthy and live longer. But when you keep returning to the power of forgiveness, you do live longer. It's the truth. Try it a couple of months. I don't say today and expect it to, oh, well, nothing happened yet. No, don't take one vitamin and then think you're saved for the rest of your life. You're not always protected without the forgiveness, without the spiritual practices. You already know that to forgive is to live. Okay, so let's let this last song that we're about to say let you know and let you understand why you are one less day from dying young, because you do that forgiveness. But listen to the words on this next song, One Less Day for Dying Young, just before Mo prays us out. Less day from dying young. So you never have to worry about getting old, because you don't have to keep worrying about the past, because you learn how to forgive others, and then you learn how to forgive you first. And then what else could you do but live longer? So with that being said, Mo, come on, please, and pray us out.
Okay, another great message, Reverend Rosedale. Thank you. And that song was amazing. I loved every part of it except the piece with the snake. Just saying. So as we go into this beautiful Sunday, I know that each and every one of us are blessed. I know that as we carry that message that Reverend Rosedale shared with us today, that we go through each day of this week with a heart that is lighter, with a mind that is clear, with an ability and a willingness to be of service, to make a difference in lives where we can. And I know that all of this is done with an ease and with grace and with love from our hearts. For this community is so much about heart and how we show up. So I release and I let go and I let God, and I know that each and every one of us are blessed on our journeys. And together we can lock this in for ourselves by simply saying, and so it is.
And so it is, Mo. You are so right. We are definitely support one another, and thank you for that. So I didn't care for the snake either, Mo, when I would look at the video. So I totally understood that. I ID'd with that. So anyway, guys, as we close out, make sure to prioritize your spiritual practice and fully embrace forgiving yourself first, and find a place in your house somewhere to sit, be with you, and let be in a space where forgiveness collides with your healing. And then you'll truly experience the power of forgiveness. So remember how far you've come, so you can also remember what you had to overcome. And with that said, until we meet again, make sure you practice the power of forgiveness this week daily for your mind, body, spirit connection. With that, take good care. See you next week.